Hi, my name is Sharnnia Artis, and I am the Assistant Dean of Access and Inclusion in the Samueli School of Engineering at UC Irvine. Today, we will talk about strategies for applying to graduate school. First, I want to start with important factors in graduate admissions. These are the factors that the selection committee is looking at when they are receiving applications and selecting students for graduate school. And this selection committee typically consists of faculty from the department that you're applying to, or faculty from the programs or specific area that you're interested in working in. Some of these factors that I would like to highlight include your overall GPA, your personal statement, which shows a sustained focus or interest in an area of research, or really your pathway to the research that you're planning to do or interested in doing. Another important factor are letter of recommendations. These are extremely important because this is where they learn about you as a person, learn about your work ethic, your research style, your research skills. And these letters can come from mentors, they can come from faculty advisors. A lot of times they come from well-known researchers, and if you decide to submit one from a well-known researcher, it's really important that they know you and know you well. So you don't want to just have a well-known researcher submit a letter of recommendation without them really knowing you. The name is important, but the relationship is even more important. So the fourth factor that the selection committee looks at during the graduate admission process is how well you write. It's important for individuals to write well because if you're going to submit a dissertation, it's going to require a lot of writing, a lot of thinking. And so it's important for the selection committee to know that you already know how to write. And this is demonstrated if you have published any articles in a journal or a conference proceeding. You can be first author or second author or co-author. Another way to demonstrate your writing ability is from research projects or a research paper or a senior thesis that you may have completed at your institution. And if you've received any type of award on a research paper, that demonstrates your skill set as well. The fifth factor here that graduate admissions selection committees typically look at include GRE scores. It's really important to have strong GRE scores, especially for the quantitative section. As a scientist or engineer, it's really important to demonstrate your math reasoning. So the last factor here is about being a match for that graduate program. And what that means is, as a match, your research interest aligns with the faculty members' research at that institution. Sometimes faculty may have a broad research interest or a broad research portfolio, but only have certain projects that are being funded. So it's really important for your projects that you'll be working on is something that you're interested in and you're a good fit for as well. Oftentimes, really strong students don't get admitted into the program of their choice because it's not a good fit. It's not that their GPA wasn't strong enough or their GRE. It was just that their research interest wasn't a good match for that program, or vice versa. Now that I talked about 6 factors that the selection committee looks at for graduate admission, I want to talk about 5 strategies that will help you achieve all of those factors and be successful during the graduate admissions process. And so I have 5 strategies that we'll go over, and I want to start with the first one about being competitive. So how do you be competitive? Being competitive, of course, is includes your grades or your GPA. Your undergraduate grades are really important. If you already have a master's, those grades are important as well. The minimum GPA is typically a 3.0, but to be competitive, you want to have a GPA a lot higher than a 3.0. I would say aim for at least a 3.5 to be competitive, and it's really important to do well in the classes that are tied to the graduate program that you are applying to. So if you're planning to, let's for example say that you are a civil environmental engineering student, and for your graduate degree, you really want to focus on water sustainability. All of the electives and courses that you had in water sustainability, it's really important to have A's in those classes, A's or B's, whereas in maybe some of your other civil or environmental courses, let's say transportation, you may have made a C. That's okay because your focus area for graduate school is going to be in water sustainability. So it's really important to have strong grades. The second thing to make you competitive is to have experience. And the type of research experience that selection committees are looking for can relate to the field that you're going in. It could be related to other fields. Oftentimes, students have multiple research experiences to get a feel of what they want before they make a decision, and that's totally okay. It could be in different disciplines. Your research experience can be at other different institutions. What's really important is just having research experience. From this experience, you should strive to publish articles if you can, or publish papers. You can be a first author or co-author, and then also present your research. It could be a presentation using a PowerPoint with a small audience, or you can present your research through some type of scientific poster or a poster session. And the third item under experience is co-curricular activities. So in addition to research, you can also participate in student organizations related to your professional society. So the American Society of Civil Engineers. You could participate in projects or activities that relate to your research interests. All of that experience counts, and they all look really good on your application. So it's really important to have this type of experience. If you have industry experience, that's excellent experience as well. You can put that on your application. However, when you are thinking about a Ph.D. or your doctorate in your field, your research experience is more important because that's what you're going to be doing more of as a graduate student. The third thing here is being competitive. Under being competitive is the graduate record exam scores, which is also known as your GRE. I talked a little bit about that, about doing well on a quantitative portion. You want to strive to be in the 90th percentile so that you can be competitive and get admitted into many of the programs that you apply to. The second strategy that I want to talk about is preparing early. So it's never too early to start preparing for graduate school. You can start as early as your freshman year, but since most of the students that participate in this program are juniors and seniors, I want to start with your junior year. During your junior year, you should start identifying what your research interest is. And you can do that by doing research, thinking about the classes that you really like, the projects that you really enjoy. Those are typically the areas that you would want to do research in for an extended period of time. During your junior year, you should also be conducting research. You can take your GREs. Oftentimes, students practice to prepare for the GREs. It's totally okay to take it twice if you need to. You should also consider visiting graduate programs. I think it's better to visit graduate programs before your senior year. That way you can get a feel of different cultures of departments and meet different faculty, and you can expand your network, and you can go to faculty and students to ask questions before the intense application period. The summer after your junior year, you should continue doing research. This is where you should really think about narrowing your research focus and start thinking about graduate school applications. You don't have to necessarily complete all of your graduate school applications during the summertime, but this is where you can start thinking about your essays or your personal statements or research statements that you'll have to write for the different graduate programs that you'll apply to. Again, you can visit graduate programs. It's typically a slower period during the academic year. Faculty may be at their institutions. Students will be around, so you can go ask questions, tour different labs if that's something you would like to do. You should also start thinking about who you will ask to write your letters of recommendations for the different graduate programs. Some of the programs may require 3 letters of recommendation, and it's always advised to try to have 3 faculty members that you have worked closely with write those letters. So you can start thinking about who will write those letters of recommendations. And then if you need to, take your GRE again. During the summer, it's usually less intense, so you can study and really prepare to do really well on your GRE instead of having to wait until your senior year. And then during your senior year, this is where you will submit your applications. Early in the senior year, I would say, first few weeks of classes, you should solicit those letters of recommendations from the faculty members. Even though they may not be due until November or December, it does not hurt to have them early. That way you have that checked off. It's already done. You don't have to stress out at the last minute. You can continue visiting graduate programs. Oftentimes, graduate programs may have visit days where prospective students can come to meet faculty, meet students. So I strongly encourage you to look into those. Your senior year is when you will also apply for fellowships, in addition to applying for graduate school. And with the fellowships, the application process is very similar to the application process for graduate school, where you have to submit your letters of recommendations, you submit an application, you submit a personal statement or a research statement. Sometimes you have to submit both, a personal and research statement. The only difference between the applications for graduate admissions and fellowships is probably the GRE scores. For most fellowships, that's not required. So the third strategy that I would like to share with you is to engage in research. We talked a lot about experience, so now I want to just to dive a little deeper into how to get this research experience. There's many types of research experiences. You can conduct research in the summer, or you can conduct research during the academic year. You can conduct research at your current institution, or you can go to other institutions. There are national laboratories that offer research experiences, as well as industry. So there are many places nationally, as well as globally, that you can go to conduct research and get this experience that is critical for you to get admitted into many of the top graduate programs. So why is it important to do research? The reason why you want to do research is because a lot of students that you will be competing with for these limited number of graduate program slots have research experience. So in order for you to be competitive, you want to have research experience too. In addition to being competitive, you also get to develop critical thinking skills and research skills that will allow you to hit the ground running as a graduate student in the program that you are admitted into. You also get to learn different research protocols and techniques and different data analyses that will help you determine what research path you want to pursue or which research path you don't want to do. And then you get to have a simulated experience of what it's like to be a graduate student and what the research culture is when you have this research experience underneath your belt. So the fourth strategy that I want to share with you is to use your resources and your connections. Professors and research advisors are excellent resources and connections. I have a list of different things that they offer you in addition to research opportunities. Your professors and research advisors will be people you go to for letters of recommendation. You also can talk to your professors and research advisors and work with them to really help you narrow down your research interests or find your research niche. You can also get to know other researchers in graduate programs. Oftentimes your research advisors have graduated from other programs, or they have colleagues at other universities where they do not mind connecting you with via email or connecting you with them at a professional conference. So it's really important to utilize those connections, and they can also provide you tips and feedback on your application so that you can stand out and be competitive during the admissions process. Faculty and research advisors also know about different fellowship opportunities, so you should really ask them questions because they are connected to fellowships that are tied to your discipline. In addition to the faculty and your research advisors, you can take advantage of undergraduate research opportunities programs. Most universities have this office at their institution. It could be called, if it's not undergraduate research opportunity programs, it could be called something else, but very similar. And then a lot of universities have a graduate resource center that you can take advantage of, but those connections will provide information about research opportunities that may be available at your university and other universities, but they may also advertise different visit opportunities for graduate programs. These programs can also give you tips and feedbacks on applications as well. I know here at the University of California, Irvine, we have a writing resource center where you can go and share your personal essay or your research statement and get feedback on how to make it better. And they also advertise different fellowships that are available, or even help you with your fellowship application and give you feedback or connect you to resources so that you can have a strong application. Another resource that people don't think about is using the Career Center. And when you think about the Career Center, you automatically think about industry and resume. For graduate applications, it's rare that you have to submit a resume, but sometimes you have to do an interview. And so you can take advantage of the Career Center to do a mock interview and get feedback on how you interview so that you can be a strong interviewer for a fellowship or a graduate admissions program. Okay, so the last strategy that I want to share is you want to stay motivated. And applying to graduate school is almost like a part-time job where you have to spend 10, sometimes 15 hours a week pulling together your application, writing your essays, getting letters of recommendations, getting feedback. And it can become daunting. It can become very overwhelming. And so I want to just encourage you to stay motivated. It's important that you meet your deadlines. It's really important to double check everything and try not to procrastinate. If you utilize your resources, if you utilize your mentors and your connections, it'll make the process go a lot smoother, and it'll actually be extremely rewarding, and you'll stay energetic until the end. And once you get all those admissions offers, it'll be really worth it. So I want to recap the 5 strategies that I just covered. Number 1, you want to be competitive. Number 2, you want to prepare early. I'm recommending to start during your junior year, but it does not hurt to start as early as your freshman year to start thinking about research opportunities. Strategy number 3 is to engage in research. Number 4 is to use your resources and connections. Number 5 is to stay motivated. If you do all those things, you'll achieve success in graduate admissions because you'll have everything that they're looking for and you'll be very competitive. Thank you.